Hey, everybody. It is Thursday, March the 6th, and this is episode 2 of Schoolboy Roll Up. With me, as always, is Greg DeRosa.
Hi, everyone.
And Rob Reddick.
What's going on?
All right. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. I'm sure I'll forget some, and Rob will remind me. And to email us your questions and comments to schoolboyrollup@gmail.com. There is nothing to talk about this week, so I don't even know where to begin.
What does Cody Rhodes say? What do you want to talk about?
We're going to heel, bro.
Oh wow,
that's a move.
We're going heel. We're
That's-
going heel this week.
Well, if you don't know how to act in the ring, you just put sunglasses on, and then everyone
This is
knows
it.
you're a
This is
bad
it.
guy.
Bad guy move.
Isn't that what
If you're
Travis Scott does?
If you're just an awkward celebrity who doesn't necessarily belong there, you should probably wear sunglasses.
This is it. This is the look.
Where'd you get those?
These?
Yeah,
Got these at Bray's. Got
nice.
these at Bray's birthday party over the weekend that he had to go to.
There you go. You needed that.
Yeah. Listen, this is a new style. No one wants frames that fit their face anymore. You want to go mini.
Mini.
Brat summer, dude.
Let's go.
So obviously, the big thing to talk about is what happened at the end of Elimination Chamber. We had an epic moment. I was personally flabbergasted by the initial F-bomb from Cody. I don't know why I cared
too.
so much about that, but I audibly gasped. I was extremely excited, but obviously that's not the big thing. The big thing is John Cena being a bad guy and joining with The Rock, and two most successful people to transfer out of wrestling into Hollywood are now a team of bad guys. And we did not get any commentary or anything on it, and we are just left to speculate. And I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on probably the most epic moment of this modern era.
Rob, you take it.
You want me to start?
You know I'm good. I
know, dude. I know you're ready. You're gearing up. I know you. I want to say that this is obviously the biggest heel turn in the 21st century. I think we could say that now. We're going all the way back to Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, 1996 or 1996. So it's been a long time since something like this has happened. Almost not 29 years, pretty much, I guess. I think some people thought it might happen. I think nobody was positive. But to see it actually happen and John Cena just not look like John Cena and be angry and beating down somebody, it was pretty friggin' awesome to see. I was pretty pumped about it. You know me, love my NWO. It brought me back a little bit, just a little bit. You know, there was no Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and there was literally no other full-time wrestlers in the ring, except for the guy getting beaten down. But it was still pretty sick. So I loved it. And the Cody FU I was equally as flabbergasted, Nick.
Yeah.
It was the best thing I've seen in a long time. Nick, you and I were watching alongside one another, and I don't think we're like short on commentary. You know, we watched a lot of these PLEs, pay-per-views together, and like we're joking throughout, talking throughout. I want to say we had probably throughout the whole time, it was just like, oh man, wow. Like just very small comments, because I mean, the whole PLE to me was great, but that ending, incredible. It's so good. It's like Rob's talked about. People were speculating, people were thinking about it, but let's be real. In 20 years with John Cena, pretty much since he's won his title at WrestleMania 21, people have been speculating and people have been thinking, oh, this is his moment to turn heel. And it never happens. I believe we even touched on it within episode 0 or episode 1, just a little bit, but we didn't even feed it that much. In the continuity of things, just as far as our own show goes, I mean, I think we were smart enough in the sense of we basically ripped The Rock's promo apart, but we realized we needed to have patience. I stand by that. I think it was a fly by the seat of your pants decision that turned into an amazing angle for Elimination Chamber. I'm excited to see where it goes. That's what I've got right now.
Right. I thought we would have some kind of slow build with this, where he would like make this decision after not being unable to obtain the title. But it goes back to his like little return from last year, where he's like, "Oh, I'm getting over the hill. I can't really hang anymore. You know, you guys see me out there. I'm lost." So I guess maybe that was planting the seed. It's hard to know how far back they really knew this was happening. But it doesn't really matter because
it doesn't, because I think if we go back to Bad Blood in October where he throws up the 3, I don't think the meaning, whatever that was built for this moment. As far as I think they're just like, he did that in October. How do we work with this? So I know they keep talking about long-term storytelling. I think that's very much on the card, and I appreciate that they're doing that, but I don't think that this was necessarily long-term storytelling. They took components of what can we use from the past to make it flow.
Greg,
yeah, I don't. It's probably leading towards someone else joining or some sort of other reveal, but they're figuring it out as they go along. They had the main strokes, I think, figured out of we're gonna get these two guys together to just. I don't know. I can't imagine where it's gonna go. I just know that we have achieved full WrestleMania hype if we're overnight.
Completely.
Yeah.
Can I make one comment on this? The Rock, when he did like the throat slash very strangely.
Yeah.
Like it was like up here. And like you noticed it, right? And he's like,
yeah.
But like, did he not want to do the Undertakers? Like what was
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
I guess no, right?
That would make sense.
Yeah. It was just odd, that's all. Like
he's got to make it his own. He's like into his own jawline. He wants you to take a quick look at the jaw.
Yeah, it's chiseled. It's totally chiseled.
Now, with us talking about that, some of the talk has been, what is this? What is this? You know, is there a third man? I don't feel that it needs to build to a third man. To me, this is a countdown. And it's just taking steps towards something. Like, could he easily throw up a 1 when Cena wins the championship? Sure. But I don't necessarily think there needs to be a third man through that step. I don't think this needs to be a perfect rehash of the NWO.
Right.
Successful. If anything, I was thinking about it earlier today, and I could almost see this being like more of an Avengers Endgame kind of story where you've got more of a corporate, larger faction here. You got women tied into it. You've got tag teams tied into it. That could almost be, I hate to say like your NWO component, but I don't think you necessarily need to cap it at 3. Like you've got this top tier right now of The Rock, Travis Scott, and John Cena. Maybe they have some underlings that like work for them.
The fact that you're mentioning Travis Scott's name in this is just still boggling my mind that he is such a part of this. It's so crazy.
I mean, everything, you have The Rock, the biggest celebrity in the world. You don't need a musician to like get more crossover.
No.
I don't get.
It's so good though. And I love it. It's smart as far as what they're doing. I think it makes it just look a little bit cooler. Like they're even more Hollywood or, more mainstream than they already are. And while The Rock is so popular, Travis Scott, I think, grabs that younger demographic.
Right.
Like, is
right.
The Rock popular?
We forget we're all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do we keep saying? We're like, hey, we're grown up. We're wearing hoodies and vests while talking about wrestling. We've each got kids that are sleeping upstairs. But like Travis Scott, to me, to get that, and I always think there's such a crossover already between like hip hop and wrestling, to just fuse that together, genius. This is so good,
Now,
right?
Genius, but nobody told that guy how to throw a fake punch, and he may or may not have injured the main eventer. And if depending on how bad that kind of injury is, like he might not be able to like do a Cody cutter because he has no bounce right now because he's got his eardrum, perforated or whatever it
Listen,
is.
he's selling it. He's selling
it hard.
the whole thing
But
right
do you
now.
so let's say Travis Scott, who's a musician and doesn't know anything about wrestling, actually
No.
hurt Cody Rhodes. Doesn't that make you him? Doesn't that make him a better heel that he's like, screwed up this one spot? Like all you gotta do is hold Cody down, and The Rock's gonna whip him, and he screwed it up, and Cody got hurt. Like
I mean, it was a shot. It was loud. It was.
Yeah.
I remember on the spot being like, "Wow, that made some noise." And when you watch the like the other angles, Cody gets hit, and he didn't just sit there. Like he instantly
jumped
his
instantly.
face is already being pushed into the mat, and then you hit him. That hurts way more.
Speaking of this as well, I really love the angle where Travis Scott also didn't know what to do, so he's just kind of pushing Cody up.
So here's the other thing.
Like, nope, pushing back down.
Pushed him right back down.
I don't think they even screw up this punching him spot. He's doing that. And Cena, who just viciously turned heel, has to be like, no, please push it back down.
There's an odd thought that I had, and how many times have we seen Travis Scott show up on WWE TV at this point? How many times did he come out with Jey Uso? Just once, or was it more than once?
I believe
just the one time.
Just the one time, because for some reason I thought it was maybe two, and I'm thinking like, and then all of a sudden he pops up with The Rock. Maybe there's something there, but
right, like Jey Uso could be a guy that's involved. This Seth Rollins, obviously, because he facilitated the win, could be somebody who's involved with this. Who he's been showing signs of a heel of a heel lately, more so than Jey Uso. But Jey Uso would be the bigger surprise because he's.
Yeah, but at the same point, maybe this goes back to what we've been talking about, where Jey Uso hasn't overcome enough yet.
Right.
Like this, maybe this is his program about. Because realistically, I think enough people see this as, all right, he's dealing with Cody now. At some point, Roman's going to work his way into this storyline. Not before Mania, but I think this is where we're looking, let's say, summer, fall, and heading into Mania next year. But once again, if we're making this Avengers comparison, Roman's not going out alone. Wouldn't it make sense that he has his right-hand man finally have his moment? Like Roman knocks off the heel Rock or heel Cena, whatever, and Jey Uso's finally getting, his coronation, his crowning moment next year. Because I know it's not on our agenda as far as what we're talking about. Jey Uso cannot win this Mania. It's not.
I don't think so. I agree. I don't think it's time.
It's just not.
Yeah.
No, Gunther needs this win too.
Majorly.
One thing we're going down a path, but we do, and a lot of people are comparing this to NWO. Is this bigger than the Hogan turn? I feel like it's a tough comparison. Personally, it's more like Cena was always good. I guess Hogan was too, but it's more like people never stopped liking Cena. People were tired of yellow and red Hogan.
In my mind, like, I totally agree with you. People were definitely tired of yellow and red Hogan. The Hulkamania, like, people were sick of it. But as big as this is, I think maybe it's more shocking than when Hogan turned, but I don't think it's bigger because Cena hasn't been around for how long. He came back and said he's coming back, and still, this is like his first appearance in months. It seems like almost. I guess it's not though because of the Rumble, but like I don't think it's bigger, but it's definitely more shocking. Like when Hogan turned, I feel like that was bigger. He was a full-time wrestler. Those two guys were two guys that came in and like they were changing the landscape of wrestling at that point by doing what they did. Cena is shocking everybody, and people don't know how to react, especially kids. But no, definitely more shocking, just not bigger.
I mean, I think it's a wait and see at this point, but my initial thought is this is bigger because the amount of coverage this has gotten and the amount of people who know that, like, I like wrestling and I don't broadcast it. Like, I'm not like, oh, let me just hit you over the head with like my wrestling facts, but like, you know, friends of me that like know I like wrestling but are casual and or I would say not even watching are like, what do you think about the Cena heel turn? The media coverage has been insane, and the fact that we're already comparing, is this bigger than Hogan or not bigger than Hogan, which is the biggest heel turn of all time. So at worst right now, this heel turn is number 2 at worst of all time.
Yeah, the only like thing that you would say for sure the Hogan thing has on it is impact, because it was in another company and it set that company ablaze to like really change, like you said, the landscape of the whole business. So the impact of the Hogan thing is bigger, but we're in a totally different world. These guys are both Hollywood stars, and this thing is going to go bigger because of social media, basically. The fact that social media exists makes this technically bigger, while the other thing had more impact, and created the whole Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars and everything. So they're different but the same, right? It's just an evolution. This is the 30-year later version of the biggest thing you could do with the biggest name,
Yeah, I mean, what are we at this point? Realistically, like 29 years removed from that
29
moment.
years. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So, yeah, that's absolutely crazy. And I think for me at this point, like, part of the discussion is it's not like you can just do this. Once again, as Rob, as you mentioned, like card subject to change. We could be totally wrong on this, but to me, it doesn't make sense that you do this just for Mania season. Like the majority of Cena's go away tour, his finale, if you will, is going to be Cena as a heel. And I think it's a question of how close does he get to the end where he's still a heel?
And what brings him back to being, I just can't see him going out as a heel. There's no way.
It's almost better
if he just close, though, I think.
It's going to get close for sure.
He doesn't actually retire, right? And like that's part of his being a bad guy. He's like, no,
Yes.
I'm sticking around. Maybe he has the belt at that point where he was supposed to be done, and he's like, no, I'm holding on to this thing. I'm doing another Mania. Nobody's taking this from me. And then he loses it and he goes out on that. Like that would be great. Because then we get him for longer,
Imagine
if we're doing.
Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
I think if we're doing the long-term storytelling here, he's got to hold the belt till at least SummerSlam. But I can't see it ending at SummerSlam because SummerSlam is so short after WrestleMania this year. You're looking at only, realistically, was that about a 3-month difference between the two events? So I don't know how it's going to play out. Like, obviously, nobody knows how it's going to play out yet. I'm sure they're still working on that. But I feel like you're going to have to get Cena pretty far down the line, almost to Survivor Series, where he's the guy. And does he do something to kind of save face around Survivor Series, like in a War Game match? Or does he get, like, beat down badly in the War Game match for doing the right thing? Ultimately setting up for, like, some huge face Cena finale, let's
I
say
like
in the
the-
Massachusetts area, December.
Imagine if he just didn't actually turn heel, and he just comes out the next time he comes out and does like all
It
his
acts like
stuff.
none of
He
this
just
happened.
acts the same exact way, like nothing happened. Sorry, tricked y'all.
I mean,
He could do anything.
he can, but if you check out his social media enough, he puts the right things up.
He
The fact
definitely
that you're
turned a little
looking
bit.
at Harvey Dent, and the line with Harvey Dent is always, live long enough to be the villain, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Or, he posts the picture of the comparison with Squid Game season 1 and season 2, where he goes from being so happy to just this dejected. I mean, Cena didn't just go like, he wasn't like, I'm a heel, I'm stoic. He was actively frowning.
He was pissed.
Yeah. Those
Actively-
acting chops,
I like
baby.
this-
Like, I mean, he
actively
had like an
frowning.
upside down
His
smile.
face
Yeah.
looked like a different person's
It
face.
did.
Almost.
It really
like,
did.
That's how much anger and emotion he was showing when he's like, all right, I'm back right now. He's just
Yeah.
really putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know something? He is a really good actor.
Yes. That's why this is going to be better. Yeah,
Yes.
he's probably, I don't know. The Rock plays the same guy in every movie.
Every
And,
movie.
like, every third movie's like in the jungle.
Yeah.
Like, Cena's like the better actor for sure. I think it's
For sure.
and I think that's gonna make this whole thing better because he can really carry whatever it is they're gonna do. Oh my gosh! All right, do you want to talk about anything else, or is there anything else we want to touch on with this?
No, at this
No, I
point, I think I'm just excited. For me, I'm excited to see where it goes. We're going to be talking about this pretty much.
Yeah,
Every
I mean,
single
the,
week,
the best
every
thing
week.
was, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but I was right about everything. 4 for 4 as far
You
as
are.
calling these matches at the Chamber, but I could
You're
not have
4
been.
for 4, but
Yeah,
just like John Cena, I am Mr. 50%.
okay, right. 4.
Wow.
Now, even though I was right about who was going to win these matches, I was very wrong about a couple of things. Mostly the KO Sammy thing. They had to shut me up. It was like, oh, I don't know if I need to see this. That match was incredible. KO is mankind king of hardcore wrestling, at least in the like a modern era that they could put on a match like that. And I don't care if they fight 4 more times. I want to see it. I can't believe what an absolute banger that match was.
No, and that match, I remember I'm watching this, and I think like we all do at times, I was on my cell phone. I was in the half paying attention phase for the first few minutes, and I caught myself, and I said, you know what? This is going to be the match. Put the phone down, get this out of here. And I just invested my time in it, and my jaw was dropping. And sure enough, I'm invested in this match. It's incredible. And my son looks over to me. He's only 6 for anyone who listens to this and doesn't know us personally. And he goes, this is the greatest match I've ever seen. Now, is that maybe my best parenting moment that my kid's watching an unsanctioned match like that? Maybe not. But am I showing him a great wrestling match? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if you've never seen anything like that, they did everything. They did everything.
They did.
And they
Straight
did
down
it
to
well.
the-
And those bumps were wild.
Straight down to the barbed wire chair, which was apparently real barbed wire, which is pretty cool. And as you guys know, I was watching with a couple of our other friends who don't watch wrestling anymore. But since I was there, it was on. And they were loving that match because it brought them back to, I feel like that's a lot of the reason why we're doing this, is that we're hoping to capture some of the people that have gone by the wayside of wrestling from the glory days like we had. And I feel like that match was if you're trying to show somebody who hasn't watched wrestling that used to like it and they haven't watched it in a while, and you show them that match, I feel like that's something that makes them want to start watching again, because they sold just everything was awesome, and they beat the crap out of each other. It was
From
great.
the moment that they started doing, once that suplex hit on the chair and bent it sideways, I thought that was the match. And we still at that point probably had about 8 or 9 minutes left in that match with several big spots to happen. I was blown away at that point. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I actually didn't see it live, but I saw the package at the end where they just jammed all the spots together.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was like at least 10, and then each one was crazier than the last.
Just hit after hit.
So, I mean, good for them. That was, and then we got Randy. So good. We were right on that. Not just on the who was going to win, but also that, where that's probably going.
But that's a little bit of my issue. And this wasn't originally my issue, but in conversations after, the PLE, I know we're in the world of wrestling. Let's make a little bit more sense at time. Randy, you've been out for several months because you don't have the beard, so, the neck impact is that much more. Continuity neck.
Yes.
But why do you have to wait for the match to end to make the return? And I'm not saying that he should have come out earlier. You want to see that match. But maybe don't bring him out that night. Bring him back this Friday to storm the ring. Have that moment. It almost just doesn't make sense to me. I'm back. But you know what? I really want to get my hands on him, but only after.
Well, he was about to do the move again. He was going to do it to him on the concrete. And a beard can't protect you from the pile driver on the concrete.
Concrete's too much.
If he tries that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, in my mind, I'm just save that. You could have saved that moment. I don't think the Randy return
Papa
needed.
Trips be getting greedy. He knew he had a good one, and he was like, "Let's load Randy in there too."
Let him in. This is the second time that Randy's come back and has been completely overshadowed.
Absolutely.
What a point. What a point.
So why not just hold it?
Randy's getting cucked left and right. These kids CM Punk now this.
Yep.
Every time we're excited for Randy, it's going to be outdone.
It's going to be completely outdone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. Maybe they've promised him he's getting Cody in some program down the road. So he's okay with somehow getting second billing whenever he comes back, even though he's one of the biggest.
They needed him back early so he could start growing the beard. So he could protect himself.
He's got pretty strong back end. So if he gets a little beard, he'll be able to take.
Okay, that's all he needs.
Just a mini beard.
Yeah. We'll touch on the ladies tag match because I was right about it. It was fun. It was in Canada. I don't know if there's much more to say.
There's not, yeah. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus, I think still doing well for for her age, and I think people just in general love Trish Stratus. She was first ballot for a reason. She's excellent. She was key in developing it. She's not as much associated with the Divas era as far as, and when I say that, if anyone were to ever call me out, I'm talking about the 2010 Butterfly Championship era. Yeah. No, Trish was doing it before everyone was. And the fact that she can still do it and get in there and give a nice rub, I think, to Tiff, that's awesome. My concern, as I mentioned, is I love Tiffy. I think she's great. I think she needs to continue to walk, I don't want to say a tweener line, but she can't just be your blah baby face. She was really
that was never her character in NXT or anything. And that's not her appeal, really, is to,
it's not. She's the conniving, that's
right. She was with Nia until she got the belt, being a crappy heel. So we'll see what happens with that. I do like her better in that role too. So we'll see where it goes.
I know we don't necessarily have a plan, but it's not like it's taking. I'm gonna give some flowers, give some of these roses over to Nia Jax. Her first run, I think, was so bad. She has been so much better ever since she has come back.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's a good heel. It's not the like change the channel kind of heat. Like I just generally want to see like somebody get one over on her. Like I think in many ways that's why Tiffany Stratton's as over as she is due to the fact that you wanted to see Nia lose that belt. I think that plays. So props to Nia Jax. I think she's doing a really great job as a heel right now.
Right. And she got her time with the belt this year too. So it's been recognized for sure.
And I love the small little face off between her and Alexa Bliss. I like the callback there. Little WrestleMania 34 vibe where they kind of, just exchange some words in the back. So, no, Nia's doing well right now.
I would agree. Let's flip over to the ladies elimination chamber. And before it starts, we got another big return, which got some press too. But again, it's like the biggest night in wrestling history, and it was the first reveal of the evening, so it's relatively overshadowed. Jade Cargill comes back. She looked awesome. She was pissed,
like beast.
And that the spot where she slammed Naomi's head in that cage was brutal.
Jaded!
Wow, there it is. We got to find a way every week, man. Every week we need that. Listen,
She's
jaded.
You got your mama style. Oh, we don't need to do the whole song, but hey, that's just a little something for you at the 33-minute mark. But no, that was Jade Cargill. I'm hoping she used her time well. Hope she's getting the reps in right now because she's got the look of a superstar. She's got the look of a Vince McMahon superstar. She is cut up. She looks like no other. If she can really pull it together in the ring, and I'm hoping she can, she's a megastar. She's already a megastar, but without necessarily being great in the ring. I'm hoping that this year she just blows up and takes off because that return was amazing. And I'm not going to be the one to say it. I think everyone knows where this is going. I think this is chapter 1 in Jade Cargill's story right now.
Right.
Are you feeling that eventually Bianca turns as well? Is that because I feel like we already got Naomi. Like clearly she's the one that beat up Jade, but was it both of them? Was it just Naomi?
1,000%. I think the smart story here, I don't think they do anything subtle. I think very much just like I'm Jade Cargill, I think you guys in your black hoodies right now are Naomi and Bianca Belair, just like they were both wearing white at the Elimination Chamber, not by coincidence because that's their tag team.
Right.
But notice Jade Cargill comes out in complete polar opposite. They're telling it. People are picking up on it. You will find out either at Mania or the night after Mania, Bianca's really the mind behind it. Jade beats Naomi convincingly. I don't even think that will have to be that long of a match in order for it to happen. But then you're finding out, well, all right, Bianca, who now has just won the belt, this was all part of her master plan. She wants you out of here. And I think that's the story we're looking on, which is, I hope so, because that's an amazing story. I'm giving myself credit, but realistically, they probably already wrote that.
I even just saw very subtly, some of Bianca's vibes in the after show, even just like talking about how she's ready for Mania. I just am feeling the heelness. It's there. She's ready to do it. She's probably excited about it after doing kind of a...
hair whip.
Yeah.
Hair whip.
How about that hair whip, by the way?
That was one of the most brutal moves of the evening.
Absolutely vicious.
Dude, now that you bring that up, ladies are getting busted open a lot.
They are.
There's been a lot of each other. Like, I feel like Liz had multiple instances like of unintentional having blood. There was something with Chelsea Green in NXT. She like got busted open in the tag match. Like, it's just happening, man. They're putting it out there. There's just as much brutal, if not more brutalness in these ladies matches lately.
No need for the cutting.
No, not when somebody whipped you so bad you literally develop a bloody welt.
The sound
hair
that
whip?
reverberated was insane.
The hair whip is amazing.
Yeah.
What they don't use it all the time. When they use it, it's actually a whip. It's incredible. The fact that she has a huge welt pretty much across her rib cage. Wow.
Yeah.
I think
she did awesome. Liv was amazing in that match. She was, she just continues to impress, but
for sure.
We'll see where she goes from here. Now,
and once again, what is that? Bianca's now a multi-time elimination
chamber. I think she's the only woman to ever win it.
Is that number 3?
Twice.
I think that's number 3.
I think it's just 2. Am I
Is
wrong?
You're the stat guy.
Yeah, Nick, you were supposed to be stat guy this week.
Oh God, I'm hoodie guy.
Oh wait, you went back to host guy. So how many? Let's see. Can we get this? I'll look into this. You guys work through.
Okay, it's 2.
I'll be stat guy again, guys.
I'll
do it all.
So glad you have a computer to tell you what I already told you.
Oh wait, we have an answer.
No, I know I'm right.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna take it.
Now they did tease Rhea, Bianca, Io. They after Bianca won, Rhea comes out and then Io comes out, and I didn't know I wanted to see that, but when I saw the 3 of them together, I was like, I want to see this. So I don't know how they get there. They obviously, there's a way for Io to just be a face and say, hey, Rhea, you gave me a shot, so I'm giving you a shot, and we're doing a triple. But then Monday happens,
yeah.
Right? And they sent us on that path a little bit. I was half asleep. I'm like, we had the headphones in, falling asleep with the Netflix on my phone, and I just hear Michael Cole like, Io Sky's a champion. And I pop up, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta rewind. I gotta watch this.
I'm honestly surprised. Like, I know this was the only way to get there, because if Rhea was champion, how does Io get into this match? But I'm still just like, I don't know if I loved having Rhea, who they built up as such a beast for so long, lose the title match. Like, what, 2 months after she just won the title? Was it?
She was literally looking at Bianca, talking to Bianca. She was, she was being cocky, which is part of her character.
It is, but that's just like such like a heel move, is to be so cocky. And she's been, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I like the idea of the match, and it doesn't matter who's, I guess, the champion going into it, but I'm just not sure I liked Rhea dropping.
Now, I feel the same way. Now, like Io Sky, I think she's excellent. She's entertaining. Love her in the ring. I think she's a great wrestler. But in my mind, she's taking away from the matchup you want to see, which is you want to see these 2 strong women get in the ring. I want to see it. I want to see the face-off between Rhea and Bianca, and I don't see Io. Is the match going to be better with Io? Absolutely. But I want the face-off between Rhea and Bianca without the third party there. But I do think you will get a better match if Io's in it, because it's far more entertaining. Io is excellent in the ring. But I want to see Rhea and Bianca go at it one-on-one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the more traditional WrestleMania setup, would be the 2 of them. But I don't know. They feel like they want everything to be bigger, and this is the bigger match now, assuming they get to the triple.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's like you want to see King Kong versus Godzilla. You don't want to see King Kong versus Godzilla versus RoboCop. That's the best comparison you could ever make. Absolutely. Don't question it. Yeah, don't bring in some other. Oh, Greg, you could have said Mothra. No. You want to see King Kong and Godzilla.
Wow, that
you don't want to see
fallback.
King Kong and Godzilla go up against RoboCop yet.
Are we sure?
All right. Maybe you do. That'd be such a weird matchup, because you'd have just these 2 giants What's RoboCop really bringing in that situation? And also, why is Io Sky even RoboCop? She's doing like a moonsault. RoboCop's
trash
just
can.
not herky jerky.
Yeah. It's the trash can.
Food for thought. It was the trash can. Thank you, Rob.
Right, yeah, you subconsciously, you're like, well,
RoboCop.
obviously she's RoboCop.
Oh my
She
gosh.
covers her
What
body.
if at War Games this year, there's just a little like area for Io's eyes so she could see this?
That would be amazing.
And she has like a gun holster. I don't know
Just, yeah, giant guns, like the whole size of her leg.
why.
Makes sense.
We've touched on basically everything. We got Randy. We did everything that happened at Chamber. I mean, there's
what do we got coming up next week? What's the big match on Monday, people?
Well, we got what?
Punk Rollins.
Punk Rollins steel cage
MSG.
match
At MSG.
at MSG.
Yeah. So they're
Which-
basically giving us like this wild program between the two of them that we just didn't get last year, and they're just throwing it on Raw. Like
But-
this will be the
but
second big
also-
match.
Why it's like I know they've had like this feud going on for so long, but like there's like a match every couple months. Like we're not like what is this like alignment of? It just makes no sense to me.
I like it, Rob. I don't want the every 4 weeks feed me the match again.
I didn't
Every
say
7 weeks
I
feed me the
didn't
match.
like it. It's just I feel like the continuity, like they'll go a couple weeks without not hating each other, but like not crossing each other's path, and then all of a sudden they're beating the crap out of each other again. Like it's just an odd build, and they're both so good that it doesn't matter. Like
Now, do you think the crowd on Monday this past week was so hot because of how crazy Chamber was? Because they were blowing up about those guys having like a regular brawl.
I mean, dude, we're recording later in the week, and I'm still hot on what happened.
On that,
look how hot
Okay.
Punk was when he came out. I mean that literally
That
set the
promo.
tone, man. Yeah, that was
That was the best.
that was
that
pipe
was his
bomb
best
too.
one since he's been back because it just had that energy.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it was scathing and it was angry. Everything you want to see from him, he's killing it.
Yeah, Punk is
What
the
I would love to
masterful.
happen, and I feel like I'm going to be wrong because enough people and anyone who listens who's informed, it seems like it's angling for that triple threat. I would just love for this to close out at this point. Have Roman come out, get into it with Rollins in some form or fashion, have Punk move to my idea of the triple threat with Cody and Cena. That's where he needs to use his favor for Cody
Right.
and Cena. Or maybe he's waiting on the favor for SummerSlam, whatever. But the triple threat to me between Roman, Punk, and Rollins, it just doesn't make sense to me. You need stakes. You need something on the line. And I can't see a number one contenders match happening at Mania. That's not exciting to me. Like, is it useful? Yes, but that's not what you do at Mania. That's what you do at like Backlash. Maybe that's what you do at Great Balls of Fire. Maybe that's what you do at Road Wild. But you're not doing that at Mania 41.
Sturgis.
Yes, we're taking it to Sturgis, people.
There's one thing that might lead to with Punk being involved in the Cena Cody match is that they have shown Punk with those backstage segments with Cody like quite a few times recently, like pumping him up and like kind of being like his, like hey, I got your back, but I'm coming for you, like so maybe
He's like, I'm
maybe
gonna look you in
Punk,
the face and tell you that.
maybe Punk is inserted as like a way so that it's a fair match, but that would be awesome.
I mean,
I would
Roman
be-
even inserting himself in this cage match could lead to a Seth Roman thing, and then Punk can go off and
That's
use the favor. I think that's a fine outcome as well.
That's what I want to happen. What would you say at this point? I feel like it's a lock. The fact that this cage match is happening at MSG, I feel like it's a lock and a perfect time to bring Roman back.
Mm-hmm.
So
perfect
to me, I think it's a guarantee we're seeing Roman on Monday night.
How does he get into the cage? Does he Superman punch it?
I wouldn't even care if he came out with bolt cutters. I think
Same
the
thing.
good way to use Roman, if you're talking about a spot, he comes in after they're both down. Seth's, a little wobbly, get into his feet. Roman spears Seth through the cage. Seth wins the match, and that starts that program. I'm concerned, though, that then the Seth win turns it into now Punk's upset and he wants that triple threat, which has no stakes on it, and I don't want that.
No
Right.
stakes. There's nothing to that.
You can't have this guy 2 years in a row talking about main eventing, and then it just doesn't happen.
I mean, you can.
They can do, but he was this close to winning the chamber, right? I mean, and he got screwed a little bit by Seth. I mean, I don't know. It just makes more sense to me if he's able to somehow find his way in to the main event. And it rewards the year he's had too. So I don't know. I'm holding out hope because I do think that he's just had such a good showing, and he's kind of emerging as the true hero in a sense.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
who would have thought 5 years ago that CM Punk was going to be emerging as the true?
Well, Rob, Greg and I did watch together. I wasn't really watching during Cena's run, but I went back and watched all the WrestleMania main events and stuff, and then seeing Punk and Cena in the ring as the final two people, I was like, this is surreal. In 2020,
it was awesome.
It was such a great face-off. I mean, it's so good. You could tell that they're, I'm not going to say friends, but you could tell that they have such a mutual admiration for one another. And the fact that their chemistry, like, they haven't been in the ring together, could they have, practiced their spots beforehand? Absolutely. But it flows so well. And considering you're dealing with, two guys who are not still in their 30s, it was awesome to see.
Do you guys, just real quick on the Punk Cena stuff, do you guys remember, Nick, you might have been out at this point. I want to say it was probably about 12 to 13 years ago. Punk and Cena had a match on Raw. And they were doing like pile drivers to each other and like power bombs. And this was at a time where like it was very much like not allowed to do those moves anymore.
We talking like the Hard Karana match, the one that got Cena his.
Yes. Remember that? Like, how good of a match was that? And like,
it was excellent. But I mean,
to come back and see them back again and main eventing 13 years later or whatever it was, I don't know exactly how many. It was pretty cool.
They've had so many excellent matches. I mean, they had that match that you're talking about. Obviously, Money in the Bank in 2011, Raw 1000, where Punk started his slow heel turn. But you have the chemistry. I would want to see them face off again before Cena ends this run.
Great.
All right. This is another great success, is it not?
I think so, Nick. I think it's great success.
Great success. Remember to tell people about the podcast, and
please.
Follow us on anything where you see Schoolboy Roll Up. Send your questions, and we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, hit us up on Gmail. Schoolboy Roll Up at gmail.com. Get it over to us. We have
might even,
we're on Twitter too. Reach out to us.
We might even
probably respond to you.
Right? Probably. Great. If Greg responds to you, it'll be more witty and more funny.
And if Nick responds to you, we don't know what's going on.
Most likely a gyration video, but I'm selling those on Cameo.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm gonna get on Cameo and I'll just do Samoan gyrations.
Yeah, if you need a little feel in your Cameo,
if I made the term Samoan gyration up and copyrighted it, so right,
it's already in.
All right,
guys, it's been fun.
All right, good night, everybody.
See you.